Joshua chapter 1. I'm going to be reading verses 10 through 16. If you would stand with me. I'm going to read this today, but going forward, I won't read it again. I'm going to ask you to please read this in your leisure. Joshua 1, chapter 1, verses 10 through 16. And it says, Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the camp and command the people, saying, Prepare provisions for yourselves. For within 3 days you will cross over this Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. And to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, Joshua spoke, saying, Remember the word which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, The Lord your God is giving you rest and is giving you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your livestock shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan. But you shall pass before your brethren armed, all your mighty men of valor, and help them until the Lord has given your brethren rest, as he gave you. And they also have taken possession of the land which the Lord your God is giving them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the Lord's servant, gave you on this side of the Jordan toward the sunrise. So they answered Joshua, saying, All that you command us, we will do, and wherever you send us, we will go. The start of this series is Don't Leave Me Hanging. Don't leave me hanging. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. The title of this series is going to take us some time. Don't leave me hanging is an idiom. An idiom is a phrase of words put together that really don't literally mean what they say. An idiom is more of a figurative way of saying things. So when I say the title is Don't Leave Me Hanging, we're not talking about literally putting a noose around something and hanging. We have discovered that even with our own idioms, we often don't understand what is being said undercurrent. And I just want to make sure that you know going forward that we're going to talk about this level of owning up to our commitment. This is not the same as the series that we spoke that, let your yes be yes and your no be no, but this is going to take a completely different angle. Some time ago, I was reading this and it was funny, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but they were talking about a man some time ago who was in Walmart, and he had to use the restroom really bad. He had to go so bad that he ran into the men's restroom, and there were men in the restroom, and he walked in and he said when he came in, he said, Listen, you might want to leave because I'm about to blow this joint up. This is a literal story. And someone heard him say it and ran and told the manager, and they called the police. Now, we grew up, we know what that means when you go into a restroom and you say you're going to blow it up. But someone took it literal. In this sense, I want us to be open to what God is about to say just through this text. to all of us in this space and on this phone who are always open for people to be a blessing to you, to be understanding toward you, to be merciful toward you, to be lenient toward you, to be so open-minded toward you, but you can't be open toward them. Don't leave me hanging. It's in this text that I'm going to just set up for today that as Moses has died, he has given his word, he has made a commitment to a different segment of people who had cattle. The Bible said they had large herds, said that they had more than average when it comes to their own livelihood. It says that the Reubenites and the Gadites and half tribe of Manasseh, before the children of Israel would cross over the Jordan, going west from east, that while they were yet on the east side, they saw some land that they could embrace. It was perfect for their own herd and their own cattle. They saw it before they went over, and they went to Moses and said, this is where we want to stay. We don't want to go over the Jordan. We want to camp on this side. If you have been reading and you got confused, I want you to go back and I want you to read it again. Said, we want to stay on this side. We don't want to go on that side with everyone else. We want this side. This is prime for us. We want this side. And it's at this moment that Moses is saying, what are you talking about? Early reference, Moses gets upset because he's saying we're in it together. All of us are together. We're all crossing over together. But the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh are being so poignant and so persuasive that they're saying there's no way that we can go over to the other side when we're bypassing the best land for our livelihood. This is perfect for us. And it's at this moment that Moses challenges them by telling them that you are in a position where you can support everyone else, and you are going to cause those that want to move forward to not go forward because you want to stay on this side for your own benefit. But what the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, what they come together with is saying at this point, in order to convince Moses that they're going to be loyal no matter what happens, says that if you do this, we will go over with you as long as you allow us to claim this plot. It's important that we know why is going over so important, because they know that they're going to encounter some battles on the other side that they won't encounter on this side. Though the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh are on the peace side, everybody else is going to go over to the turbulent side. They have to convince Moses at this point that they are going to buy all in for everyone, not just themselves. They're saying, we're not just going to camp out here, but we'll go across with you and we'll fight with everyone else as long as we can come back to this part. And it's at this moment where Moses locks them in on the agreement that says, this is what you must do. You must not renege on your commitment to fight on our side. or on the side of everyone else. You must not get comfortable in thinking that you've got yours and nobody else has theirs yet, and it's up to them to get theirs on their own. Y'all know the story. The people that you know that you have been locked in with, that you've made agreement with, the ones that you have said that, okay, I need to change and I'm willing to change this for you. I'm willing to do this for you. Are you willing to do this for me? And we lock ourselves in an agreement and we say, yes, I'm in an agreement. I'll do it. Why is it? Because we will benefit something first. Many of us will make the commitment solely because of what we desire and what we want on the front end and not looking at the back end. When I met my wife, the agreement that we made was, if in fact we're going to marry, that we have to agree where we're going to stay. And I solely left that responsibility to her. I want you to choose where we're going to stay. I was all bought in. And I was ready for her to say she wanted to stay in Arkansas, though I was hoping she wouldn't. But when I asked her, I said, where do you want to stay? And she told me right off the top of her head, I want to move to Las Vegas with you. I said, no, you're moving a little too fast. I want you to think about this. I want you to pray about it. Because when we make the move, I'm not moving again. She waited 2 days. And I asked her again. She said, my answer is just as my first one. I want to move to Las Vegas with you. She held up that agreement. We went to Las Vegas and stayed in Vegas for 18 years without her being close to her family. I honored that. And it was at this juncture that I realized that there were things that she was giving up that I wasn't. I had my family and she didn't. I had my friends and she didn't. I had my connections and she didn't. I had all the familiar surroundings and she didn't. And it was 18 years in where it was time for me to make a shift, though I didn't know God was shifting. It was where God would use as an instrument her brother to get me to move, and I was struggling to get out of Vegas. I was trying to hold on to Vegas because this is all I know. He's like, man, there are opportunities open for you, and you're not going to get it where you are. And I kept thinking that growth was going to come in Las Vegas. My expansion was going to be in Las Vegas. I was going to become a very, very influential person in Las Vegas. Little did I know that that's not where God's plan for my life would be. I would fight with that. And it was at this point in fighting with this that the Lord started to show me that you were willing to get her to change course for you, but now you're not willing to change course for her. It's at this moment that I would accept the challenge. Right at the end of about my career, and abruptly end everything, thinking that I'm going to leave Las Vegas and go into making a large amount of money, get to my place, which is in New Orleans right after Katrina, which is where the business took me, only to get there to find everything started to fall apart. I'm going to say this segmenting in here for many of us where you believe that God is purposing you for greatness. He is, but he wants to see how much you're going to go through in order to accept that greatness. It's not going to just fall in your lap, but you're going to have to endure some things in order to get greatness. Yeah. Went to New Orleans and I was upset. I was upset that I uprooted and left where I am familiar with and come all the way across the country and don't have 2 nickels to rub together. Took forever for my paycheck to come. By the time the government paid me my money, when I paid my bills, I still had bills on top of bills. But I didn't know that God was at work. I didn't know the original plan that I thought God had. God was like, I used this as bait to get you out of where you were. For many of us, we don't understand why God is shifting you when it seems like grass is greener on the other side. And you get to that side and find out that that grass is actually astroturf. For all of us in this room, as you are sitting in your nice clothes, having taken a nice bath, you and I have made some commitments to God on the heels of him making commitments to us, and turned our backs on what we said we'd do if he did what he said he'd do. We are in a position of now leaving God hanging. And hanging as in suspended, left out with his hand out without us putting ours in his hand. It's at this time that Moses has told them, he said, we're going to give you permission to stay on this side, but you must come to the other side with us because war is going to break out on us and you have to be committed to fight with us, though your property is on the other side. You're on the side of peace and contentment. You're on the side where everything is going well. You're on the side where nothing's bothering you. And you act as if it ain't your problem. But if in fact those that are next to you are losing sleep, it is your problem also. As a believer, we are culpable in those around us who are struggling to gain peace and act as if it is not our issue. All because you don't have sleepless nights. It is incumbent upon all of us to understand that God has called all of us to take on and shoulder everyone else around us, as opposed to believing that we're all alone by ourselves. I'm not trying to yell. We have been put in a position of wanting people to be courteous toward us, whether it be physical, emotional, or spiritual, financial. We want them to give us latitude. We want them to give us room for error. We want them to give us room for growth. But when it's time for you to do the same, you don't want to do it. When they had to struggle with you when you didn't have a job, when the people you called tolerated you crying on the phone, when the people that you connected with embraced your insecurities and your frailties and your faults. Now it's your time to show forth the same thing, and you won't do it. You're leaving them hanging. God is going to demonstrate to all of us the importance of rallying around those that we consider brothers and sisters. I can't find myself to sleep at night when I have received a call of someone who is having trouble, someone who has lost a loved one, someone who can't figure out what is next in their own life. I just can't roll over and go to sleep as if it doesn't have anything to do with me. In fact, I have to sit up straight and almost get out of bed on my own and go on my knees to pray. And I want to say this, for those of you who are struggling right now in your own life circumstance, you're not alone. You don't have to feel as if God doesn't care, but God cares enough that he will wake us up in the middle of the night. And if he's been trying to get you up and you won't get up, then you're leaving him hanging. We don't see the responsibility that we have in shouldering a burden for those who are falling and collapsing under the burden of life. We got a responsibility to build up, to lift up, and to support those that are struggling. I know we may not always have the answer, but we all know the answer. And the answer is Jesus. It is for us to have an expectancy to receive something. But at the same time, no one can expect the same of us. We're struggling in society now where we like to cast stones at everybody else. But when stones were cast at us, we were crying and complaining and asking everyone else to at least, you don't understand how I feel, but once you come out of yours, you don't have the understanding for someone else. I think of the turmoil that I went through and put my family through. And I think of how we navigated, and here we are about to celebrate 34 years of marriage. And people want to celebrate our journey. When I say, yeah, you don't want to celebrate that. Not too quick. Because that 34 years, you're looking at the wedding and you're looking at year 34. You're not looking at the years in between. The years in between are a struggle. They have been a struggle because it is always about giving myself away. Giving myself. Marriage has taught me this lesson that it's never about me. It ain't ever. Though I want things to be about me, it ain't about me. It's about her. Now, to her, it should not be about her.
Come on. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Y'all see how that works? If in fact, I give myself to her, then she in turn will give herself to me.
Amen.
Then that means neither one of us will ever be without. But here's the problem. If I think it's about me and she thinks it's about her, neither one of us will get what we need. I did this demonstration some years ago in our Bible study. And I know on the line, you can't see me. But I'm going to just do this because the Lord has just directed me to do it. Bring me that bottle. Bring me that bottle, Sabrina. I want, real quick, Sydney, run over and get a cup out of the kitchen. Just real quick, really quick. I'm going to demonstrate this and I'm going to close because this is the journey that we're going to go on of understanding the value of your giving. Giving. Of always giving. Those of you who feel depleted of your giving, that you have nothing else to give, the ones that feel as if I am done, I'm tapped out, I don't have nothing else to give, I got mine, I finally got my peace, I finally got my joy, my life is on track, and I have nothing else to give. I am going to challenge you. Challenge you. Come here, Sabrina. Hold this cup. Now, I don't have 2 cups. I don't have 2. But I want you to, with your mind, with your thought, with your imagination, I want you to think outside of the box. The Bible says it's better to give than it is to receive. And many of us don't understand this principle. Stand up here, baby, because I know this is going to be on YouTube and I don't want you to be off camera. The Bible says it's better to give than it is to receive. And this is why the principle is so profound. The Lord showed me this in my sleep. Says that, why is it so much better to give than it is to receive? I explained it to you in short term. But if I had a cup, she has 1 cup, I have a cup. That means that if I'm always giving her, if I'm always giving to her, and she pours back into me, that means I will always have. But if she doesn't pour into my cup, and I don't pour into her cup, and I'm always saying, I need more, I need more, I need more. What about me? What about my life? What about my happiness? What about my joy? That means the only person that will ever have anything will be neither of us. But if I am a giver and she's a giver, that means she will always have. And if she pours back into me, I will always have. She will always have. She pours back into me, I will always have. If she ever needs, I'm always giving. She's always giving. Y'all see the picture? Yeah. Thank you, baby. When you and I lock into God's purpose, His purpose and design for you is to always give.